Hi there, it's Better Photo Jim with your question of the day. So today's question is, how do I photograph the moon? And that is a great subject. And we recently had an impromptu assignment because we had a beautiful full moon on Halloween Eve. So if you have a full moon coming up, here are a few things that you want to keep in mind. Okay, first of all, you're going to want to set your camera securely on a tripod. Then I would recommend that you set your aperture to be wide open. This is one case where you might want to use manual exposure mode so you can just control aperture and shutter speed irregardless. So have it wide open, which means that you want a small f-stop number, say f2.8. And then set your shutter speed to 1/100th of a second as a starting point. And then do an example or a test photo. And look at the photo in your monitor on the back of the camera. And if it looks like a blob, a big white blob, then you know that you have a problem. And it's overexposed. And this happens a lot because there's a wide expanse of dark black sky that kind of tricks the camera. So you're going to have an overexposed photo. So you're going to want to change that exposure by going to a bigger f-stop number. You started wide open, f2.8 for example, so now you might try f5.6 and then f8 and then f16 if you need to. And each time look at the photo in your LCD monitor and just look for detail. Make sure that you're seeing those craters and mountains and valleys on the moon. You're seeing the man in the moon instead of just this big white blob. That will allow you to get it in the ballpark until you are pretty sure that you're getting the right amount of detail before the moon is getting too dim. Make a lot of photos. There's going to be some vibration in certain shots, so you're going to want to just try different photos so you can increase the likelihood of you getting a sharp image of this beautiful sunlit object. Now when you're done, take those photos into Photoshop and you're going to want to further crisp them up. You're going to want to use an unsharp mask filter or the clarity filter when you're opening up a camera raw photo. And that's another tip that I always recommend. Shoot in camera raw so that you have the maximum amount of ability to flexibly change the exposure after you shoot. So those are just a few things that you want to keep in mind. Shoot a lot. Make sure that you're photographing at the right exposure mode, and that's a matter of trial and error for me. And then do whatever you can to get the sharpness down. So here's one thing. You notice how we went with a f2.8 and 1/100th of a shutter speed, but then we didn't change the shutter speed. We changed the aperture, the opening of the lens. And the reason why we did that is we don't want to go to a slower shutter speed. If you go too slow when photographing the moon, it will likely be a little bit blurry just because it moves. It moves a lot faster than we think. So there are some tips for you. Go ahead and try it out. The best way to learn how to photograph the moon is to actually do it. All right, so this is Jim. Have fun photographing. Remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, please. And if you have a question about photographic technique, be sure to email me. I really want to know. I want to hear from you what you would like to learn the most. All right, have fun making better photos. Hi, it's Better Photo Jim.